Hey, hello everybody. This is Katie Oshiwanita with Harmonizing Journey to Realignment Seminar and Sessions. And the topic today is the Republic An HJR Insight. And this one I've been just really been tough doing this particular workshop for sure. But I'm kind of to the point where I'm pretty happy with it. I could say more, but then you guys might get bored, and I may have follow-up posts, but this is kind of the main view on my feelings of what's going on currently in today's world. Okay, so, all right, the Republic. A government in which the power belongs to a body of citizens entitled to vote and is exercised by the leaders and representatives of elected by those citizens to govern according to law. We would then add our Constitution and Bill of Rights to that law. And that I got from the Merriam-Webster Online Dictionary. Okay. So, technical difficulties, I didn't realize was going to be an issue. Okay. These past 8 years have been difficult for all of us, okay, on this earth plane. We know 2020 in particular marked a turning point in history that we can't turn back from, right? Everything we thought the world was about has been crumbling around us. Even what we called normies that just want to follow the status, normies that just want to do the status quo are being affected and really seeing, oh, right? And I really feel for those guys. We have been living out a hidden spiritual information war that is now being played out publicly in the last few years. The fires, the drones, the recent airplane crashes. Don't be fooled. Bix, swear. I guess. First, assume everything is a oh shoot. What the word is, but anyway, that it's probably something that's not what they say it is, and then go from there to prove that it actually is what they say it is. Usually the thing that we get blamed on with having tin foil hats for. Anyway, I want to make it clear right from the start. I struggled and am still struggling with this post on the current state of affairs in the United States of America around it's going to be bad. I apologize. My computer needs to be a little updated. Okay. I want to make it clear right now from the start, I struggled and I'm still struggling with this post on the current state of affairs in the United States of America and around the world. I've said this before, say it again. I'm not for political parties. So I'm not a Republican or Democrat or any variation on either side, up and down, but the two, obviously, the United States, it's Republicans and Democrats. I'm not either one. If you were to try to nail me down, I would cop to following the ideology of a moderate libertarian. No, not for that party, just ideology, libertarian. It is for upholding the constitutional republic with its Bill of Rights. So you don't need a political party, just freaking uphold the government we have, okay? No need for a political party to spend more resources to be paid for someone else's desires or control. That does not mean all our problems are solved, but it's a good framework from which to start, okay? And then I want to, I got it out of the online Britannica dictionary. a little bit long definition, but on libertarianism, just to really give everybody a feel of where I'm coming from. So my ideology. So libertarianism, political philosophy that takes individual liberty to be the primary political value. It may be understood as a form of liberalism, classical liberalism in particular, the political philosophy associated with the English philosophers John Locke and John Stuart Mill, the Scottish economist Adam Smith, and the American statesman Thomas Jefferson. Liberalism seeks to define and justify the legitimate powers of government in terms of certain natural, God-given individual rights. These rights include the rights to life, liberty, private property, freedom of speech and association, freedom of worship, government by consent, equality under the law, and moral autonomy, the ability to pursue one's own conception of happiness or the good life. The purpose of government, according to liberals, true liberals, the stuff we got going on right now, according to liberals, is to protect these and other individual rights. And in general, liberals have contended that government power should be limited to that which is necessary to accomplish this task. Libertarians are classical liberals who strongly emphasize the individual right to liberty. They contend that the scope and powers of government should be constrained so as to allow each individual as much freedom of action as is consistent with the like freedom for everyone else. Thus, they believe that individuals should be free to behave and to dispose of their property as they see fit. Provided that their actions do not infringe on the equal freedom of others. Okay, quite a mouthful, but I thought worth saying, especially since I don't know that there's a lot talked about libertarianism. So it just really needs to kind of come out, I think, a little bit more in the open. We have to know our history to understand the importance of these times. And my Evolution of the Soul series was written to give us all an understanding of who we are, where we came from, and where we are going, along with who may or may not be in the game for our best interests. My foundation is Keylontic Science, Tantra of her teachings with other like-minded souls who, in their own ways, have or have had embodied much of this technology, such as, I really like Rudolf Steiner, as you know, G.G. Young, Seth Material, Science of Mind, and Abraham Hicks. Okay. They all share the theme of the mechanics of manifestation, how we create our reality. I'm not about to say that I'm perfect, oh heck no. And struggle just as everyone else does to understand the nuances of how this mechanics works. We have been shut off from the original science behind the mechanics of manifestation throughout our time on this planet because we either shut ourselves down or others help us to. Okay. This time matrix, particularly density 1 Earth, lives on the leading edge of creation. All levels of our being are trying to figure out how best to evolve the angelic human Tyrannium experiment. In August 2011, the failsafe host was initiated to deal with the disharmonic choices we have made over many millennia. We can blame all the bad ET and cabal groups out there for what they did to us, but when it comes down to it, we have to look at our reflections in the mirror of the 3D world to understand what has, is, and will be happening now to us. Being this all simultaneous, right? Okay, the Alhambra, the administrators of the Chris Code, the primary guardians of the failsafe host. Okay, defining a massive collective of the, and this was what I'm getting ready to say. Arrays Production, Sliders 12, Part 2, April 2012, page 21 of the handbook. A massive collective of the Alhambra Reyes Crystal people eat. And again, I should have said at the beginning, take what you like and leave the rest. It's my perspective. So, okay. And those that think I wear a tin cap, I wear that tin foil cap. I wear that with much pride. So anyway, a massive collective of the Alhambra Reyes crystal people, eternal crystalline plasma liquid sound consciousness from the cosmea meiotic plane that materialize into last call, last fall, cosmic matrix systems as collectives of huge crystal plasma ray living transport ships to fulfill the failsafe of the eternal Chris code. The Alhambra Reyes appear in materialization to engage in reset of the eternal balance of the Chris code when a cosmic matrix reaches critical mass fall quantum. They specialize in ascension, bioregenesis, and evacuation of viable life fields from falling systems. Yeah, I think did I say that? Yeah, administrators of the Christ. Did I say that? Yeah, they're also known as administrators of the Christ. That's very important. Okay. Why is the failsafe online? Why do we have it going? What is, humanity's negative choices over the centuries have built up miasmic detritus in our personal planetary morphogenic field templates that make up the Earth plane. The miasmic buildup in the Earth Templar has become a dark flower black goo grid on Earth's planetary plasma lotus structure. The lotus spirit body structures correspond to the chakra light body structure. Everyone on this planet has been, is, or will be at some point affected by the miasmic buildup. I wish I could say that, that's not going to happen, but okay. Excuse me. Miasms, for those that don't know, are dead light chelon-coated crystals within the light body anatomy. At one time, this energy or consciousness of the light body outer domain reality ran the Trinity program of organic light sound Un-One consciousness that became polarized. This light body consciousness lost its form constant Un-One Manu 0-point alignment, causing a polarity drama we're living out today. Over time, these miasms have built up within the core template of the Earth plane, running back and forth through the biofeed interface system, and that term is from Arrays Productions. Traditionally, we have called this process our karma of being either in alignment or not being in alignment with our inner being. Life is shut down at this point when you're not in alignment. No longer is there the in-breath and out-breath of perpetual renew. Many feel trapped in a net. We lost the ascension capability. The Dark Lords of the Fatality. The hybrid fallen Aquari Fem Umbi race lines became the Wazi Yenta, W-A-capital-Z, capital E, dash Y-E-N-T-A, and then fatally F, capital A, dash, capital T, lowercase a, dash, capital L, capital E, and the Jia Ha Fe Tali. WHA dash J, capital J, H, capital E, apostrophe, capital A dash capital T, A, and then fatally. The only collectively are the succubi and incubi fallen races. And you can look that term up. It's basically a sexual thing. But anyway, taking down somebody sexually. A particular lineage of fallen Aquarii femme beings embodies the world of the dark miasmic crystals of the Brenta de Lura. Brenta space DE space capital LEU space RA. Plasma synthesizer and false reverse violet plasma ray. Again, all this information is from Ray's Productions. I did not come up with any of this. No way would I come up with any of this. But I've dealt with it, but I didn't come up with it. They are dark time lords who live to take dominion over the Christ by absorbing not just the light body of the outer domains, but also the middle and inner domains of the spirit body. They gain much satisfaction from psychologically playing with their food as they absorb it. And some of these terms I know, you're like, what? They've been talked about before. You just need to kind of read through my other or watch my other material, and you'll find it. That's just, but anyway, a lot of stuff. Okay. They have been eating their way through the inner and middle domains of the spirit realm by the dark flowering of the lotus plasma spirit body anatomy. Their venom is injected into the plasma spirit body of our lotus flower anatomy, causing it to become a dark, miasmic, dense, dead flower, unable to receive vital life source energy to perpetually renew. They are dark time lords who came from the future into our space-time reality through our, actually they came in to the past, from the future into the past, time-space reality through our soul level or density 2 terra consciousness. They embody the keyline coded program of fatalism, seeing life in terms of pain, suffering, and destruction. Most of the fallen souls referenced in the Voyager series do not have the capacity or capability of these dark time lords. In fact, at this time, they are under the dominion of these dark fallen time lords. The first time we knew of them, they came in originally around, as far as we know at this time, the year 200 to 300 AD, when they followed a group of Aquarii femmes from the future. These Aquarii femmes set up specific grid structures, such as the Alhambra Cathedral network, to counteract the potential compromise of the 2012 stellar activation cycle, which would enact the failsafe program if needed. I get more Ray's Productions material. Not mine. Right. Okay. Sorry. We are the Aquarii femmes set up the Alhambra Cathedral network. The fatally infiltrated the mission, killing off many of us and putting the planetary golden handcuff Metatronic harness in place. Thankfully, in 2012, we released those handcuffs. We still have other stuff for another day. Anyway, at least got that released. the Dark Time Lords' two primary cabal elite syndicates, which none of this is new to you guys. You follow me. Okay, so the Green Dragon, Anna Elohim, Cabal, Elite, Masonic Hybrid, Anu Elohim Worship Cult Syndicate. Okay. I kind of put all those words in because different group people have variations, but it's pretty much the same. It's the same people. Okay. Or same beings. They're involved in the satanic ritual practice of changing the sex of their firstborn child. We also know how they like to drink certain things, like the party substance. Starts with an I, a D, no I, I-N-D. I'm not going to save the rest of that on YouTube. Excuse me. Okay. They're also, and the blood diamonds. They're also the epitome of a male-dominant society. They tend to be the far left-wing parties of the Luciferic impulses, now called the woke movement in the U.S. I'll talk more about later. And I've used the Luciferic impulse quite a bit in other documents, but I'm going to try to attach at the end that. So there's some of those so that you can reference those. The second cabal syndicate is the Red Dragon Draconian Reptilian Hybrid Draco Cabal Alliance of the Catholic Church. And we know anybody that follows the alternative political, not political, but view on what's going on in the background, understand the two main powers in the world, or what have been the two main powers to under government systems, so to speak, or power structures to receive funds. And those are the two ones. Okay. Okay. They also share both of them share similar eating habits and drinking of the party substance. Oh, and again, the blood diamond. They also, and I'm not going to define that on YouTube. Research, put that one up. They also share in the satanic religious cult of changing the sex of the firstborn. They are also the epitome of, as well, the male dominant society. The male, as in might is right, is a militaristic neocon ideology. They tend to be the right-wing parties of the Aramonic impulses. And I might do at some point, if you guys would like, you can put that in the comments, my version of what I think the male-dominated society ideology looks like, because I know that's kind of a big thing today, but I covered so many different areas. It's just too much. Okay. The reason for the change of sex, okay, of the firstborn is not for kicks, okay. Their satanic god, and some people like to make a distinction. There's a bit of a distinction between Satan and Lucifer, but they're both actually Anunnaki. Okay. And so they both are pretty much kind of under the same guise for the most part. But anyway, we'll just say satanic. God is represented as both male and female, right? I think Beth on that might be another term. They believe people who are both sexes are more powerful. Yeah. And theoretically, yes, the androgy, the form constant, the balance of the male and female. But we're here on this planet, we're not that, and you can't change with surgery what you are, okay? They believe people who are both, okay. they are using and I truly really see this with clarity, that they are using, and I feel bad for the people that are in this organization. They are using the LGBTQ movement to make this ideology the norm. I have heard this from various sources. One, I do follow pretty closely Tara by Janine, and um, and again, I apologize for not providing reference to the other resources. I just throughout the years, I've just heard so many different views of this. It's just kind of, to me, I think common knowledge, but I know for Normie it's not. But I'm hoping for most of the people that follow me, you kind of figured it out. And usually Normies aren't going to listen to me anyway. But yeah, you can, I think, Google this information at this point. They, of course, say it's not real, blah, 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 blah on Google, but you can get the gist still of what's going on. Yeah, I didn't come up with this. It's not what I would want to think of as my ideology at all. Okay, okay, besides those two main ones, there's other competing lineages moving back and forth between the two. And there are allies they are allies or enemies tend to be of the red or green dragons. Now, there is the white dragon, Dayton's Scientology, okay, would be probably a group that's kind of vying for being in the playing field, being a significant player in the playing field compared to some of the other groups. But, and again, that may be another topic. It's not really one that I'm all that knowledgeable about, but they have been pushing for a number of years to really kind of get up, and they are actually related to the Fatally, actually. And it's interesting, they do have two main bases of power, Clearwater, Florida, and basically pretty much the state of California is pretty much Satan's white dragons, which gives you an indication you can kind of where things are at politically. And again, the Secrets of Amenti by Secrets of Amenti 2 by Ashiana Dean Reyes Productions. You'll get kind of a better picture of all the different factions, groups that you could call off-worlders, but kind of, in my opinion, at this point, they're really kind of I kind of feel like they're really kind of part of who we are as humans in many ways. They're part of this planet at this point. But they do have off-world connections, and we have off-world connections. Okay, at one time in the evolution of this time matrix, and I think this is important to understand, that the red and green dragons were actually acristic Rishi lineage lines, and hence why they're called red and green dragons. Acristic Rishi lineage lines who came in to help foster, balance, and heal this time matrix through its growing pains of development, who soon became compromised themselves through their choices. And there's a lot of background as far as the fall of material that Ashiana Dean, of course, has a lot of background on that. Okay. There is a natural need, right, to balance the light and sound, male and female, light and sound, magnetics, within the time matrix. We want our form constant back again time matrix from when we lost our form constant Manu 0 point. Everybody keeps talking about 0 point power. Well, you gotta work out the imbalance first if you're going to use 0 point. Both sides are needed. The green dragon's far left, with its creative, spiritual, luciferic ideology, fire energy, and the red dragon's conservative, practical, down-to-earth science, objective truth, aramonic impulse. Both of those impulses are important. And at least according to Rudolf Steiner, and it makes a lot of sense to me, actually. Okay. Unfortunately, both, right, have been at odds with each other through all three Earth seedings, pushing for their energetic impulse agendas, while higher Manu balanced Christic forces are working to balance the two. The Christ impulse was brought in as the counterbalancing force. Sadly, the Christ impulse was insufficient due to the planet's miasmic reversals mentioned earlier. But it is still a viable option for the salvation of humanity, particularly for those who can't follow the current Christic law of one ascension science, of Chelonic science, Tandra her teachings, and being that they're more than most likely what I've talked about before is soul transplants, okay, which I have a previous post on that with more detail. Okay. Okay. The fatally dark time lords, okay, have taken over the deep state cabal syndicate, or also known as Khazarian Mafia, which has thrown a wrench in the Earth Alliance's progress in ending the cabal syndicate control over Earth. I don't know why this is still going on, okay? Yet, the activation of the failsafe host has changed the game. We have the counterbalancing force of the Alhambra magistracies of the Cosminias, the liquid crystal folk, who are the administrators of the Christ Code. The game is now being played in a very different way. So a lot of chaosers or Christics kind of have been looking at how between the red and green dragon play, but now with the Alhambra and the Dark Time Lords, it's a bit of a different game. And I'm going to hopefully get that clear through the rest of this article. Okay. Yet, the activation of the failsafe host has changed the game. We have I guess I said that already. The woke movement, I can't down the screen like I normally do, so it's confusing the heck out of what I saw. Anyway, the woke movement moved into the lamplight just as the Dark Time Lords took the stage in 2014. KDDL 3 by Iesha Arias, although I just want to make that clear. Arias or Iesha doesn't agree with me on this. She's very wokey, but anyway, just gotta make sure that's understood. Okay. In 2015, they first began to dark flower the red dragon and white dragon Satan's Scientology groups. Then they moved to the green dragon political group. So, yeah, make sure I said that right. So initially, the white dragon was kind of actually working at taking over the red dragons back in pre-2014. So they were being taken down. Then this fatally group came in and took those guys down. Okay, so to make sure you understand. And then eventually taking the green dragons down. Okay. Most fatally red dragons have gone to gone to the fatally woke green dragon's far left side. They are both dark-flowered under the new syndicate of the dark fatally Time Lords. The fatally enjoy playing the two groups against each other. But don't be fooled. They're on the same team, fighting against the indigenous, Christic, Aquari, angelic human races of the Earth Alliance. I do want to stress that not all red and green dragons are under the fatally control. I'm focusing on the political syndicates. Being in a political party or voting for a party does not make a person dark-flowered. Okay, I just want to make that clear. Okay. However, one can see where someone might be over time by behavior and intuitive feelings. In other words, don't judge a book by its cover. And that's a thing that's been going on right now in the last 4 years. It's just changed its phraseology, but it's still the same energy, So I'm not much into that. Sorry. Sorry, I'm not there. We are in the middle of the biggest sting operation in the history of this time matrix. The Earth Alliance White Hats have been taking countermeasures since Kennedy's assassination. Trump was put in as a counteroffense in the clearing out process of the now fatally deep state cabal syndicates. Mainstream and social media are the primary weapons in this information spiritual war. It is not a matter of taking out these deep state syndicate players, because without the human race understanding what has happened to us, the head of the syndicate will be replaced. And a new regime will be created because we, as manifestors, gave permission. Oh, my woke group. I love what all of the lefties are doing. I love all what the neocon rights are doing. Anyway. Okay. Again, I'm not for political parties. Okay. All right. We have to understand who we are and how we create our reality. Until then, we will continue to be manipulated, and not knowing will not keep us from living out our karma. We are in a war, and there will be and there have been casualties. In my opinion, okay, the Alhambra have taken over the Earth Alliance White Hats, creating the biggest sting operation in this time matrix. I think the Galactic Federation of Worlds is part of this psyop. The Alhambra first cleared out the Federation and then developed the current Earth Alliance White Hats. And undoubtedly, the Alhambra probably cleaned up whoever the White Hats originally were within the Moorish Masonic order. I forgot to put this in the paper, but in the article, but they are a particular branch, actually, of one of the Alhambra, or not Alhambra, one of the Anunnaki groups. I'm spacing on the name of it, but I'll put it in the article. I'll try to remember to put it in the article. Maybe it doesn't make that big of a difference. But anyway, the White Hats are not white dragons, and the White Hats are not red dragons, like a lot of people want to say. Okay. Okay, so undoubtedly the Alhambra probably cleaned up whoever the White Hats originally were within the Moorish Masonic order, which I'll talk about later. I continually get that whoever the White Hats have become is working for the good of humanity. I follow the tarot by Janine and JC of Beyond Mystic and others, continually assessing what is happening. Tarot by Janine has repeatedly learned through her cards that the Earth Alliance is working with highly evolved humans from the future who came back to help humanity. I would say the only ones who could play this current galactic game are the administrators of the Christ Code, the Alhambra. The United States of America Constitutional Republic versus the United States for America, which hopefully I got that correctly, for America Corporation, Democratic Socialist Federal Bureaucracy. Okay, let's just not front, okay? Let's just not pretend. I know people want to pretend, but we can't pretend. Okay, anymore. Right. Yeah. Ulta Amekasan on the North American continent had been intended to become the New Jerusalem by the Jehovah and Anunnaki. That was the one I was trying to remember. The white hat, there is some of that lineage. Jehovah and Anunnaki is in there, okay. But reformed and actually part of something else. I might eventually do another post on actually what's going on that level, but of the white hat organization. But anyway, I always get a little New Jerusalem stuff, kind of makes me cringe. Anyway, Jehovah and Anunnaki, Leviathan, and the new Amireka by the Nebarian, Hothian, Anunnaki, Leviathan Syndicate. And again, those terms are taken out of Voyagers too. Another way of saying that is becoming the United States for America Corporation Company of the Cabal Syndicates. The Democratic Socialistic Federal Bureaucracy is their new controlling mechanism. This form of government is being instituted all over the world under the guise of freedom. Okay. The United States Constitutional Republic Articles of Confederation was taken from the Iroquois Confederacy. Our foundation was rooted in the land. The spirit of America was the last stronghold for the angelic human. The indigenous souls whose DNA could activate and run the Templar gate system of the earth, the real grail, transmitted through the matriarchal lines. The founders of our country, who were guided here by their soul's destiny, embody the spirit of this land. And you go on to my Harmonizing Journey post of this. I have a link at this point to an article that gives more information about that. So I don't want to get into detail. It's a long post probably, as is. Don't want you to fall asleep on me or go someplace else. Okay. The first Cabal syndicate of the animal Melchizedek Moorish Empire versus the Mu-Ur angelic human seed races. Okay, this is pre Red and Green Dragon syndicates. So North America is also known as the land of the Moors. The Masonic order is a branch of the Moorish Empire, once known as Mu, hyphen Ur. So capital M, capital U, or apostrophe, capital U, capital R. During the Atlantean and Lemurian periods. Okay, so we had the Mu-Ur during the Atlantean and Lemurian periods. After the fall of Atlantis in 9,558 BC, the Anu Melchizedek Anunnaki took over the Mu-Ur civilization in the Americas, establishing their Moorish Empire. They talk about being all North and South America, across Atlantis to actually North Africa and Europe. Technically, is that what that empire encompasses, and then there's another part of that in the rest of the world. But, okay. The current Moorish Empire is primarily run by the Cabal and their 13 families. These 13 families are made up of combination of the red and green cabal syndicates, the indigenous angelic human Ulta Amekasan, or root races, still have their seat at the table. We know these root races as Blacks, Hispanics, Negroids, American Indians, and Asiatics. The root races have higher standing, but are taught to be crayon colors or from someplace else, losing their nationality. Okay, this is why I'm so pissy, okay, about the stuff. Okay, what's going on? The root races have higher standing. Okay, I did that already. They have been, okay, here we go. They have been forfeiting their place at the Moorish Mu'ur table, wanting to be paid through reparations. Okay, that's another little jab into the woke thing through reparations. The cabal hybrids are a combination of animal. I mean, you guys, hopefully you're getting. I'm not looking to trash wokeism because I'm a bigot. It's the other freaking way around. Okay, so to make sure that's understood. The cabal hybrids are a combination of animal Melchizedek, third seeding humans of the Anunnaki Moorish Empire, Draco, a genetically engineered draconian and human hybrid, and force bred with the Magi Grail angelic human Mu'ur. The Anunnaki and draconian might is right, male dominant controller mentality took over the Mu'ur Magi Grail and matriarchal and root race angelic humans of the Earth Templar to become different syndicate factions within the Moorish Empire. Okay. The word Mason means Ma's son, expressing the knowledge of the mechanics of manifestation. Ma means the crystalla, magnetic in-breath within the form constant Manu womb of the 0 point of creation, merging with the Christos, Krystos, or God the Father, Patar, P-A-T-A-R, creating the light body sun, S-O-N, but also S-U-N, outer realm time matrices. That's what I get it as. And I've been processing this for a while. I'm pretty confident at this point what I think it is. Okay. After the fall of Atlantis, we went from being a base 12 planet to a base 10 planet. And again, that's Voyager's material. The Kabbalah, Masonry, initiation science, also known as esoteric Christianity, was developed to compensate for the change. The hope was to evolve back into a base 12 ascension system. The Moorish Empire used this initiation science for thousands of years until it was usurped by a new Masonic branch called the Freemasons of the Cabal Syndicate of Europe. By this point, the Masonic initiates, according to Rudolf Steiner, had forgotten the secret knowledge of the doctrines and became compromised. So we're talking about people that first got compromised. We got compromised by Atlantis going down. There's a lot going behind why that would make us go from being a base 12 to base 10. Then we had the esoteric Christianity, which for a long time we were doing a lot of growth with that. And then during this current era, civilization era, or we, I guess you could, I'll say this current civilization era, because the whole epoch has been since Atlantis fell. Anyway, according to Rudolf Steiner, had forgotten the secrets of knowledge of the doctrines and became compromised. They became a controlling force over humanity, reigning not by love, peace, and harmony, but by, again, the might is right, manifest destiny over others' rights to live free. Okay? And I'm not going to say there's not things about the woke movement that aren't legit, but it's just the way it's being gone about. It's just as bad as what was previous. In fact, worse in a lot of ways than what was previously being done currently. Okay. The United States of America founders, okay, had to work within. This is really important because it sort of blows away a lot of the woke movement. The United States of America founders had to work within the compromised Masonic control system. They had to do it. There wasn't a choice back then. And to a certain extent, we're fighting the fight right now to get out of it and end it. Okay? It's important. So yes, they were Masons. They probably were a combination of highly coded angelic humans, compromised hybrids, and variations. Because this land embodied the root race spirit, they did their best to incorporate the spirit into the creation of the constitutional republic with its Bill of Rights, which no other nation has been able to do since, I'm going to say, Atlantis of Turtle Island. Okay, I'm going to say that was the last time we probably had a similar type of republic. Iroquois came from that time. Okay, just a note, David Windmiller, 92nd. Hopefully I got that correct. It's either 92nd or 82nd, but I'm going to say 92nd. That's what I got there. Freemason, okay? Was a major influence. Again, it's still, the knowledge of the Masonry is still legit. It's just how it's being interpreted many times or understood is lacking. Was a major influence on my understanding of how Freemasonry controls the governments of the world. He did a really good video a number of years ago. Not easy to find. I didn't really find it. And when I looked on his website. It's not really helpful. But anyway, and then the other was Taj Tariq Bey, was a great resource about the Moorish Empire. I really do have a respect for him a lot. Obviously, I have a slightly different view of the Moorish Empire, but I do respect the fact that people that call themselves blacks, they're really effing themselves over doing that. Just so let's just say that they're not doing anything for themselves. They're Moors. Just actually but I'll say Moors because really at this point we are a combination. We've got a lot of animal cheese a dick in us, so just gotta go with that. That's a whole nother topic. I think I already did something. I'm pretty sure I did a post on that. If I didn't, I may do one at some point. Okay, and I did with the animal cheese a dick. Okay. All right, so the goals of the founding fathers of the United States. Okay. The founders wanted to form a more perfect union based not on what a group of yahoos wished to get over some other group. Okay. They were tired of that. They felt the land's energy and studied what had worked and what had not worked. They wanted to ensure that one group could not stomp and violate another group just because they had more people. They set up a 3-tier division of power along with the Bill of Rights to say what rights this government must uphold. All right, we already have the structure in place. We don't need more. We just need to uphold the structure. However, it is only a piece of paper. If the people don't stand in their sovereignty and maintain the integrity of their liberties, we have failed as a nation to take full responsibility for all our thoughts, feelings, and actions. It was a struggle from the beginning of our foundation because we are still under the cabal Masonic order. We needed to be continually fighting for our constitutional rights and ending the deep state cabal Masonic control syndicates. Instead, we allowed it to continue to fester within our country because, as a nation, we did not want to stand in our authority but give it over bit by bit. One of the most significant areas we have been compromised on is bringing socialism, communism, democracy into our school system, building up a heavy bureaucracy, teaching our children to see the world from a victim-victimizer mentality where the state has authority over the family, where capitalism is evil and should be regulated. The state knows better than the individual. The free market is where our voting rights, are the most powerful. Okay? That is our founding fathers, that our founding fathers were evil and destructive. Okay. So the free market is where our voting rights are the most powerful. I probably should have rewritten that, but anyway. This Freemason cabal hybrid ruling class uses democratic constitutional governments to gain control over humanity. Everyone says, oh my God, Katie. I know you're probably thinking this. You've gone off the deep end. Oh, you're just, oh my God. But hear me out. I'm still, for I was with y'all for most of my life. I drank the Kool-Aid for sure. It took me a few years to break the program. I did. I thought that our government was really perfect. Really, I had some problems, but overall it was the federal government was really had our good intentions at heart. I really thought that for most of my life. I don't anymore for a long period of time. Many different situations. Democracy, in its etymological meaning, is not rule. Yes, everyone gets a vote, and 51% vote wins, and the other 49% are got fucked, Also, 51% may not vote with integrity. Excuse me. Also, mobs can be controlled by mass media and false flag events. We've seen that over and over and over and over. Did I say over again? And again, and some more, and over again, more. Okay. One really good example is the Floyd shooting. It's an excellent example of false flag event, media manipulation that brought on the woke movement, the summer of love and burning down cities. And anyway, okay. Causing the woke agenda to take center stage. Okay. Words have meaning even when we want to change them to suit our individual or group agendas. They do cast spells, as in spelling, right? We have been through the democratic system systematically voting for complete federal bureaucracy control. More government control is a socialistic government. We systematically give our power away every time we vote predominantly, not every time, but most of the time when we vote, it ends up because as a whole, we're voting by what takes our fancy and not because we researched the issues and made an objective decision. Most people will vote for more resources rather than upholding each other's liberties. People like taking the coin in the form of cash benefits from the bureaucratic system. And it's really unfortunate. It really is. Not to say that we were given many choices because we were kind of we locked ourselves into a particular way of seeing things, doing things. We've got to let that go too. We're going to get ahead. The founding fathers did not want a democracy because they understood it always failed. Okay, they didn't want it because they understood it always failed. If you follow the people's whims, they will vote for more money, power, and control, depleting the country. Democracy is voted in socialism, communism, fascism, or mob rule dictatorship. Democracy sounds good. Democracy sounds good since humanity has kicked out the aristocracy. But the next step is to take care of ourselves. Most people are so shut down and asleep that they would instead give up their liberties to be taken care of. Hence the vulnerability of communism, socialism, fascism, democracy. Thankfully, I truly believe this, and I think the recent election gives some hopefully indication in the fact that there's so many awake and aware people in this world now that I actually feel pretty good. I feel like, oh wow, it's 20 years ago, no. Anyway, but we are on the verge of a new sovereign civilization. I really do feel that it's there. It's coming. The activations are coming in. We're waking up every day. We got our digital soldiers out there, calling everybody to account. It's awesome. It's awesome. I'm feeling like maybe this earth is okay. All right. Let's look a little closer at socialism. And I had gotten, okay, this is the Merriam-Webster Online Dictionary on Socialism. A system of society or group living in which there is no private property. A system or condition of society in which the means of production are owned and controlled by the state. While in the past, social democracy and democratic socialism both referred to movements seeking a fully socialist system. The two terms have diverged. Today, social democracies retain a capitalist system overall, while democratic socialism rejects capitalism fully and seeks to establish a decentralized socialist economic system with a democratically run government. The marketplace of ideas, okay, and I'll get this out of my mouth. The marketplace of ideas and resources governs itself by the choices we all make every day. That's the biggest power we have with our choice. Yes, monopolies do develop. However, left to the free market, they will break down independently unless government subsidize and control mechanisms step in. And I've seen over and over again as well. The left democratic socialism movement no longer follows the Marxist revolutionary approach, but has been working through the educational system, which it nurtures and cultivates to further its goal. You just have to look at the students coming out of the schools and the faculty running the schools to understand this. Okay. This is where wokeism came out of, the school system. Okay. The universities. As well as even grade schools and high schools. Okay. The conception of, and this I got, this particular statement is, I got from the, also from the Merriam-Webster Dictionary. The conception of that control, however, has varied, and socialism has been interpreted in widely diverging ways, ranging from statist to libertarian, from Marxist to liberal. I should say, really, it's probably more accurate, Marxist to neoliberal. Neoliberal. All right. Okay. Democratic socialism is the current government structure that, on the surface, sounds like it's for freedom, again. But really, again, it's the opposite. These fallen hybrid cabal sending it knew that this time would come when people would wake up and revolt and say, no more. Waking up too much, seeing what's really going on. So over time, they created ways to make people think they were free when, in actuality, they were voting for control. Examples similar to the frog in the pot of water in the boiling process. The unity of the, the unity of the family, self-sovereignty, and moral law have to be destroyed for democracy, socialism to be fully in place. This is what I've seen, is that the woke movement of the last 4 years attests to the attempt at breaking down the nuclear family in the place of the so-called sanctuary cities. I think it's sanctuary cities. I don't think it was new cities, it was sanctuary cities. And it wasn't just for immigrants, or but also for children that were told that it was cool to fuck their bodies up. Okay. Anyway, sorry. I really tried to keep the cussing down to a minimum, but this is just one of the things I'm having a hard time. All right. The left and the right parties are two sides, really, of the same coin. The left is a socialistic arm, and the right tends to be the military control arm. There is a divide and conquer element of push-me-pull, always a victim and victimizer between the two that the cabal groups can manipulate for whatever legislative control mechanism they want to put in place, right? Okay, wokeism, the cultural tool of fatally snake, is a little detailed. I'm going to define woke out of Wikipedia. Okay. Woke. The African American English synonym for the general American English word awake has been used since the 1930s or earlier to refer to awareness of social and political issues affecting African Americans, often in the construction of stay woke. Beginning in the 2010s, it came to be used to refer to a broader awareness of social inequalities, such as racial injustice, sexism, and denial of LGBTQ rights. Woke has also been used as shorthand for some ideas of the American left involving identity politics and social justice, such as white privilege and reparations for slavery in the United States. Make sure y'all know, I did look it up. I did process it. I'm looking to understand. Okay. And there have been legitimate issues of violations of U.S. citizens' liberties throughout our nation's history, without question. However, none can actually be dealt with through new bureaucratic state regulations. True freedom can be achieved only by upholding the Bill of Rights and the Constitution. Okay? But when a nation drops the ball because of its own weaknesses and depravity of moral values, and when you see another human being as less than because they don't follow whatever it is you feel they need to follow, that's not cool. That's bad, really bad. That's lack of moral values. Moral values are based on the connection with God source first eternal, Ayah, Ayeh, Yumi, Mi, Este, It. When we allow the Luciferic and Aramonic atheist ideologies to take over our society, we lose the heart and soul of our sovereignty as a nation of spiritual beings. There is a reason the word God is stated in our Bill of Rights and Constitution that dates back to the spirit of the land, a place where everyone can study their own view of their Ayah, Ayeh, God's first eternal right. There is a supreme force that lives through humanity, lives as humanity, is humanity. Yes, I agree. There are many distortions about who and what this supreme force is, but that doesn't make it not real. Just because you don't want to believe it, because it doesn't come out the way you'd like to hear it, doesn't make it not real. We each find our own way to understanding this God force. Again, if you want to be an atheist, that's your business, but don't push it on others. Okay? We have long since passed the time of reparations. It's those people involved are long since dead. As American citizens, or yeah, we'll have to say citizens, nationals, citizens. Most can't actually really say they're nationals unless they're indigenous, but American citizens, we can work together to better understand who we are as a nation of multicultural people to live supporting and influencing our God-given Bill of Rights liberties. This means we can choose to be or do what we want as long as we are not infringing on others' rights to do the same. No part of government control gives us that. No way on a day-to-day basis can 51% vote by the mob rule work on how to allocate the resources. But everyone in the marketplace has their vote daily based on what they support or don't support. In the Evolution of the Soul series, we talked about the distortions and problems of being shut down from our higher dimensionality, from experiencing who we are as that divine supreme force that I call God Source First Eternal, Ayah, Ayeh, you, me, we, us, they, it. We also discussed how specific off-worlders have taken advantage of those who have yet to awaken. So again, when I'm talking about normies, I'm not talking about fallen people. I'm not talking about less than people, people that are less than. Just for whatever reason, they're just having a hard time waking up. And they could even be the most highly coded beings around. Okay? For whatever reason, their time yet is not waking. But we do kind of have to deal with them. And it's very, very difficult, right? Very difficult. Okay, the importance of Christianity when we're looking in the light of the ones that are still sleeping, soul transplant, cut off, trying to make the connection, stuck, been interfered with. Looking at that in the light of the importance of Christianity. Okay, so right now, so many people want to destroy Christianity, not because of its actual teachings, but because of those Aramonic satanic people who infiltrated the organizations, becoming nuns, priests, bishops, and popes. Catholic Church, like I said earlier, Catholic Church is the most infiltrated organization. Most denominational churches that get more into power than moral law are probably not authentic places of Christian worship. So please get off the bandwagon of trashing people who are Christians. You don't know who the Aramonic satanic ones are from the true ones, okay? The Aramonic Luciferic beings who throughout history call themselves Christians, Buddhists, Hindus, and Muslims are compromised, backward human beings who have brutalized large groups of people in the name of their religion. Christianity in particular is paying that price right now for people who are Christians in name, are paying the price for those that are Christians in name only. The nun whipped the child with the stick for not spelling the right way. Again, Aramonic key energy. While in actuality, there are nuns who have been of service to humanity, are pushed to the side because of those few distorted, compromised, and lost souls. Okay. Believe me, I've been hanged and burned at the stake way too many times in past lifetimes. It would be easy for me to jump on the bandwagon too. However, Rudolf Steiner's work gave me a new perspective on understanding esoteric Christianity. I learned from my study of Rudolf Steiner that the Gospels are modernized versions of ancient esoteric Christianity of initiation science for ascension. What was left, I should say, of the original Keylontic science. I see Christianity as the one hope for the soul transplant group who will probably not be able to understand and work with the authentic ascension science of Keylonta and the Tantriya Hura at this time. When you let go of your connection with your eternal inner being as God's first eternal, you're vulnerable to all matters of spiritless forces. Okay. So, transhumanism through wokeism. Okay. It just kind of translates them in general, but I had a hard time breaking them too much apart. Okay. Transhumanism movement is how these cabal syndicates are working to survive the changes happening on Earth. There are two types of artificial intelligence, or AI. The first is a 3D computer version that is, I would say for the most part, probably pretty harmless. The second AI is from the Phantom Matrix, which works to become alive in our world using humanity as its modified vehicle. Now, when you combine the two together, then we have some trouble. Okay. This intelligence is dominated, excuse me. He's talking. This intelligence is dominated by materialistic, scientific, Ahrimanic, spiritless, and intellectual abstract Luciferic impulses. The cabal Leviathan, bound to the Phantom Matrix, pushes for changing biological sex, killing religion, the neo-gender identification cult, the killing of the family, and democratic socialism of the state, taking the place of the family and God to become the artificial fallen angelic Phantom Matrix world called transhumanism. The cabal Leviathan knows that there will come a time when they will no longer be able to inhabit a human body. Ash has talked about this too. This and others have talked about this. It's not. Gigi Young gets into it to a certain extent in her own way. Others in their Phantom Earth community have lost the ability to survive independently in our world because they have lost their connection to their IAIA, which dates back as far as Lemuria and Atlantis. Again, lost connection doesn't mean they're not still have a relationship. They just lost that connection. They have become the demons in our nightmares, the parts of our shadow that became lost. The wokeism of race, gender, and sexual identity, or whatever else becomes the flavor of the day to keep people in a blame, victim, victimizer mentality. Always problems to be solved, and how to give the government more power over the people to fix the problems. We need to stop continuing to divide and conquer, keeping people victimized in these different worlds. The fringe culture. Wokeism, okay, started out as a legitimate movement for the freedom of the indigenous Moors, aka blacks. But from the start, it downgraded the Moors to become crayon colors. There is a focus on seeing everyone as either a victim or victimizer. Okay. Actual change occurs through education, awareness, and seeing people. Excuse me. I've been talking for a while. Okay. Seeing people in history, not from critical. Okay, let me just start that sentence over again. Actual change occurs through education, awareness, no energetic interference. Okay, awareness and seeing people in history, not from the critical theory, but through the objective truth of what is. Everything is a mixture of good and bad. We take responsibility for it, learn from our mistakes, and move forward. The Moors are indigenous to this land. They are paying the karma of being the original plantation owner over the Europeans. Okay. The cabal hybrids from Europe switched places, taking over their empire. It's time to stop running the karmic debt program. And just another little added bit to this. The term white is a title. It has nothing to do with the skin color. It's actually what the Moors called themselves. Anyway, just a little side piece there. Okay. Of the nastiness that's been going on. Okay. However, getting the federal government involved is very sketchy business. In the past 8 years, all that has happened has been a divide and conquer breaking down of the constitutional structure and the foundation upon which this country was built. Wokeism played on the victims of a past that most were paying out their karma. Probably should have said playing out their karma. But now they have been finding their footing, rightfully so, becoming equal in the eyes of society. Okay. So that's not be doing that right now. Anyway, every time though when I do these and I find these mistakes as I'm reading it out loud to y'all, I rarely can ever find right the point that I found the mistake when I go back later. All right. There were still some squabbles. There are still some squabbles, but they were not coming to be a big problem and were being worked out. I mean, I really feel most of people actually really harmonizing together, becoming Americans, following the philosophy of the ideology of being Americans, was getting stronger and stronger, and the divide was getting less and less. Not to say it wasn't quite still there, but it's okay. People are different. It's all right. But overall, working things out. But wokeism just about destroyed all the hard work over many generations. Thankfully, there were enough awake people who said no. And I'm hoping people will legitimately respect those that choose different lifestyles of way of being and allowing them to be that way and looking at them, okay, you're different, fine, a little odd to me, but what can you do? What can you accomplish? What can you do for my business or my community? Or, that's really, how can we get along? How can we work together? Is really what's important. Thankfully there were enough awake people who said no. They said no to no longer having the federal corporation company syndicate through democratic socialism to gain more control. My heart, and again, my heart goes out to all the beautiful souls manipulated throughout the years by this woke movement. Beautiful souls, serious, beautiful people, really awesome. Very special, very unique. Okay. I first, I don't think I personally don't care what nationality, religion, skin color, sexual preference, or how you want to dress, as long as you are not trying to push it on me. If you are an adult biological female wanting to pretend to be a man or vice versa, that's okay. It really is. It's okay. I'll have fun with you. We'll have fun. But as an adult, you can do what you want. Totally. But there is such a thing as objective truth. And no thank you to critical theory. All right. Luciferic abstract thinking. No, thank you. I had other choice words on that one, but I'm trying to be a little bit more appropriate. Okay. Experimental surgery, synthetic hormones, and how you dress are not going to change who you are. each sex is unique within themselves. And no matter how much you play dress up, you still are who you are. Above all, you are not a mistake. You are fantastic as you are. That is what I promote. Okay. If you have been considered part of the fringe culture, don't try to make yourself mainstream by manipulating other people to make you feel okay about yourself. Be okay with yourself. Allow others to be however they want to be, so long as their perspective does not violate yours. They can have an opinion, they can state it, but they can't push to intentionally do things to make it to where you can't be yourself. Okay. And again, you've got to be able to have a thick skin. Some people say they don't like what you're doing and you're their fringe. Okay. I know that because I'm fringe in my own way. Because I am part of the fringe culture in my own way. You cannot call, you can't, obviously so far you realize you can't call me normal for sure. Okay. I like being on the fringes, but I also understand the importance of the stability of the mainstream culture. People who are the salt of the earth, mainstream. Salt of the earth, they hold true to living a moral life of home, family, and God. People that when the world goes upside down, they're the ones who will put it right side up again. I do have appreciation of that. I'm not one of them per se. I'll support them, but I'm not one of those. Okay. Wokeism, okay, has become an avenue for trying to make it normal to butcher young ones. I'm just over sexualize them. And then on top of it all, asking the American people to pay for the butchering. Not to mention the pharmaceutical industry's part in this mess. I am also hugely against the state of taking the place of parental rights. Tampons in public, well, maybe not hugely on that one. Tampons in public, it's kind of weird. Men's bathrooms. Making anyone feel bad about who they are for any reason. Hiring someone not because of their capabilities and merit, because of some characteristic about them, not the merit of their work. I do not advocate experimental non-reversible surgery for adults either. I am not going to pay for it. The surgery really messes a person up. Again, you know or not. You know you're not a mistake. You are fantastic as you are. I am not for a system that advocates for you not to be who you are and makes you join the club because they messed themselves up. Okay. A world working towards becoming disconnected from our bodies, right? To be vulnerable then to transhumanism. It is the norm for these cabal luciferic satanic syndicates, worship cults, to alter the biological sex of their firstborn. Again, saying that again. The royals are a good example. Many Hollywood crowds do this, kind of selling their souls to the devil kind of thing. It's some really, I have to cuss on this, it's some real sick shit. Again, the woke agenda has been used by these sick cabal controller syndicates to make this mainstream. When you alter someone's sex like that, they lose sensation down there. They can't have a normal, healthy relationship and get to be part of the group. One can lose their connection to their soul, causing them to be open to being an instrument of the AI Phantom Earth beings. The groundwork is being built for humanity's fallen, divergent future. Some will go down that eighth sphere phantom Earth reality. My goal is that there will be much less than we initially thought. Being from my fringe culture, I understand the importance of developing group spaces. I suggest others do the same and quit pushing themselves on others. There is nothing wrong with expressing alternatively, but we should not expect mainstream society to appreciate it. They do what it takes to keep society functional and intact. The world is what you make of it. Remember, you cannot automatically make others okay with you until you are genuinely okay with yourself. Mandating people to hire not for people's qualifications or merit, but for their LGBTQ status or whatever the current regime wants to enforce is to me the epitome of actual bigotry. I hope that the average Joe, the mainstream salt of the earth, wakes up and sees a bigger picture of the world. The divergent groups of society can show them the way by being an example of alternative ways of seeing the world. They can explore what it means to be a female, male, and androgynous. They can find new ways to see who we are as spiritual beings. We have our place. I believe most people in the woke movement have good intentions and need to be heard. We do. I think there's a lot that needs to be said and done. But ultimately, however, they were taken down long ago as an organization. I didn't mention Black Lives Matters and Antifa. They are part of the sick controlling network under the umbrella of the woke movement. In conclusion, again, I can't easily, I guess, you know what? I just saw where I could put myself on mute. Okay. No, right, sorry. I am happy with the 2024 U.S. election results. Again, it's a democracy works, but actually, this one we had to fight for, and I can't say that everybody voted intelligently, but most people, I think, really did do a good job. This election righted a wrong from the fraudulent 2020 election, and that, J and something with a 6, all that bogey doodly stuff. This election also was a win for humanity to say no. We do not want the democratic socialistic woke agenda. But do not think this means the sting operation is over. We have a long way to go to make new choices and develop a self-sustaining and maintaining nation, a country that values upholding people's liberties over taking the coin. Our country lives by values of individual freedom, self-reliance, equality of opportunity, competition, the American dream, and hard work. I kind of would add an American dream, maybe a little bit of creativity in regards to that. I think we're a little bit narrow-minded in our idea of what is it, apple pie, Chevrolet, and something baseball, apple pie, Chevrolet. Our house was 2-car garage. That's kind of, but anyway, we can do better than that. And that the fringe culture can and definitely have our little pieces in that American dream. It will take both the fringe and the mainstream to do this. Both. To manifest a new earth world, we all must find our connection to our eternal inner soul, the spirit being. We are in the process of decentralizing our governments and money systems as the Aquarian age comes in. Also, because the sting operation is still going on, when we hear things Trump or anyone else is advocating for, if it doesn't align with what we deem correct, we must say no. That is not okay, and explain the technicals of why. Call it out to the public at large. Again, waking people up. It is part of the waking up process. What kind of world do you want to create? Do you want to live in? Be in? I invite you to join our HJR Grid Keepers Community Membership Program. Here, we work to develop our personal connection with God Source First Eternal Ia, and through that connection, work with the Kilanta and Tantrium mechanics of manifestation to build new earth. I sneeze on you. Just try not to. Okay. If you are a grid worker looking to advance to the next level, this might be your next step. If you are of a religious faith and want to explore a deeper level of who you are more than welcome. I also, oh, okay. Oh, that just, how do we do that? Sorry. Okay. I'm kind of trying to do the concluding things. I have a little video of thoughts and expectations by members, but that's my last post. So on YouTube. So you guys on YouTube already hopefully have watched that of members that have talked a little bit about the HJR Grid Keepers Community Program, membership program. And will be a link in the description for that, as well as private sessions for my Waking Elenia book series. I have also, now, I will have the link for my Harmonizing Journey blog post that I just read through. So people can go directly to that as well as, those that are watching it on YouTube. I also, again, I've got to get a new computer. And please, it makes a huge difference when you like this content, share it, please. I don't really have a large number of people, but if you know some people that you think would be interested in this information, please, by all means, share this post. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. And also, if you'd like to subscribe to my website, that would be awesome too. Also, donations are very appreciated. So much love and peace. And until we meet again. It's been a while since I've done a journey, and I'm thinking maybe of doing a live one with a few of the Grid Keeper members with you guys. So actually, if you would like to have a live journey, please make a note of that in the comments below, as well as I covered a lot of different things, and I'm by no means perfect, and I'm a little stubborn. I'm not going to front, but if there's added information you would like to give to support my perspective, because it is a fringe, it is divergent, or if you have a counterpoint that I wasn't aware of or I know all the details of and you want to add that, please, by all means do. Especially for everybody else that's watching, that they look down at the comments would be very greatly appreciated. As long as you're respectful, right? and you have good logical reasons for your perspective, I'm more than happy to hear it. Not just Katie's bigoted or bad or whatever, because that's kind of been the thing that the liberals, the lefties have been doing, is kind of blame shame kind of game. I don't care which, both sides play it. I don't like it, whichever direction it comes from. Okay. All right. Love you guys. Take care.